Happy Friday, guys. Today's workout is a Halloween workout. We have our Halloween WOD tonight at 7, and we're going to be basing that workout for you guys for your home workout, which is Candy is a benchmark workout itself, a CrossFit benchmark, and the workout is 5 rounds of 20 pull-ups, 40 push-ups, and 60 squats. This workout, I have different variations for you guys to play around with for this workout, which is an intermediate and a scaled version. And the reps or the volume's less, and there's more progressions based on what you need for this. So if you have the equipment or you're comfortable with the volume, you can stick to the RX progression. Intermediate, I would say we're gonna half the amount per round. And if we need it, we're gonna scale it one movement out of those 3. And then the last version would be the scaled version. We're going to do some scaling options for those movements. And we can also do a scaling option for that squat as necessary. For this workout, the intent is to work on gymnastics endurance there. And we're working specifically on the muscle endurance with our push-ups, pull-ups, and the legs for the squats there. So again, I highly recommend if you need to go towards the progression, the scaling options as needed. If you are comfortable with it, let's go with the RX version. Now, 25 minutes is the cap for this workout today that I put for the class. And I want you guys to aim for about that 25 to 30 minute mark for this workout. So that would mean 5 to 6 minute rounds. If you think this is a lot for 5 minutes per round or 6 minutes, let's go to the intermediate variation. And again, if you want to do a blended version in between these two, RX, intermediate, blended version, maybe you do the 10, 20, 30, but there's no scaling option. So you just go RX as needed, you can do that as well. And most likely, if you guys don't have a pull-up bar at home, let's go for those bent over rows as an option. Or if we can get a hold of some kind of towel pull-up station where you put your towel in between that door frame, make sure it's secure, and you're able to do that, then I would highly recommend you guys use that for your pull-ups today. After that workout, guys, afterburner, I have to put it down here, didn't have much space over there. We're gonna do a 60-second pigeon stretch and then 60 seconds of that glute and hip strengthening there. Especially after all those squats, you're probably gonna be pretty sore, and the lactic acid is gonna be kind of building up in your legs there. So kind of flush it out with the cool down there to get you guys ready for tomorrow's workout. Hope you enjoyed the workout and the afterburner today. We'll see you next for the warm-up video. All right, guys, we're here for the warm-up. We're gonna start off with 60 body weight Russian twists. So you don't have to do them all unbroken. Break it up, sets of 20, sets of 30. You don't need to use any weight for this. Try and focus on really on that rotation when you're going to one side. So don't just try to reach with your arms or your hands. Try to reach with that upper body towards the direction that you're going. So you can challenge yourself by going legs straight here, or if you're new to it, keep your knees bent. But again, we're going to try and reach as much as we can to that one side, going for 60 reps. Every time you touch that side, that's going to count as 1 rep. So break it up if you need to, 60 reps to start off with. Then we're going to go into some single-legged deadlifts. You're going to go 15 reps per side. Use a weight here, unless you're still trying to work on that balance with that single leg. You're going to grab that weight, the leg that's balancing on the floor, that's not going to be using the weight. So my right side is going to hold on to the weight, my left side is going to be doing the balancing. I'm going to hinge at the hips, send that leg straight back, and I'm going to come down as low as I can, as long as I'm keeping that back nice and flat. And I'm going to drive through that front leg to stand up. And as I'm doing that, I'm pushing my heel, pushing my full foot into the ground to really use my hamstring as I stand it up. So what it looks like again from the side, come down, come up, drive hard through that leg to activate that glute hamstring. Once you're done that, guys, we're gonna go into some static lunges, but from a narrow stance. So I like to do these to kind of get the quads and the adductors activated. So pick a line on the floor. If you don't have a line, that's okay. See if you can keep your toes or your heels all in one straight line. You're gonna drop that knee down so that it's about a fist away from that heel, so there's some gap in between. It's gonna be a little bit of a balance back here. You're gonna try and drive that leg up and then back down again. We're gonna go for 15, the left leg forward, really trying to keep that balance by squeezing the inside of this leg and keeping that hip active on the back. Then we're gonna do the same thing on that opposite leg, opposite stance, same idea, 15 static lunges from there. Once you've done that, you're gonna grab a lead, you're gonna go into our strict presses from an active lunge position. So we're gonna keep that knee just slightly above the ground. We're gonna take a lunge forward, get into that front rack position, 15 reps on that one side. Once you're done 15 reps, switch, and you do 15 reps on that opposite side. So this is gonna challenge that core, guys, and that balance. Also, when you're doing that press, try not to rush through them. If you need to, do them in sets of 5 so that you can still also focus on that back, getting nice activation when you're overhead each time. So just one round of that, guys. Once you're done, we'll see you guys next for the workout movements.
Start off with a bent over row. So in that bent over row, feet are hip width apart, knees are perpendicular. Don't round your back, so flat back. Feeling tight, maybe you're up a little bit more, that's fine. If possible, drop down. From here, guys, you're gonna row that bar, in my case, as close as you can to the body. So if I had a single object, I'm still thinking about nice and tight with my elbows, not to the body, but the back, to allow me to mimic that tight bar path that I can get with a PC pipe or bar.
With the push-ups here, guys, again, let's try and keep that nice tight hollow body, stay nice and straight the entire time. So with that said, let's not sag those hips, keep that butt tight, and then we're curling in that rib cage, keeping the abs tight. For the push-up here, I like to keep those elbow pits, or the inside elbow pits facing out in front of me. So I don't want them to face inwards. I like to keep them facing out in front, so that when I break at the elbows, I'm keeping my elbows already nice and tight to my body. So that's a good cue for yourself, especially also when you're coming up, you want to think about pointing those elbow pits back out again. So you guys can do your push-ups off those toes. You guys can do a push-up where you come down and then rock back up from the knees, then to the toes. It's kind of like a kipping push-up there, that's totally fine, as long as you're keeping that core nice and tight. Last thing, you can also try going off those knees. Just one error I see sometimes with these knee push-ups, guys, is that we keep our hips bent and then come down our push-up like this. I want you to keep yourself nice and straight. So from your knees to your shoulders should be one straight line, come all the way down, and then back up again. Going into those air squats next. So air squats here, guys. Big thing, keep that chest tall. I like to kind of keep my hands out in front of me so that when I'm getting tired, I'm not looking down as I'm squatting. So I know some of you, when you get tired, hands kind of flop to the sides or in front of you and you're looking down. Try to keep those hands up a little bit taller and look straight ahead to keep that chest tall, and also to allow you to keep your weight more distributed towards that mid-foot and the heel. So again, as opposed to doing this, guys, let's try to keep our hands up and try to stay on that mid-foot to heel more as we're coming down in our squat and coming up from our squat.
Okay, hopefully you had a good workout, got that done under 15 minutes. Now it's time to cool off and get some glute stretching and activation. So starting off with the pigeon pose here, guys, we're gonna go for 60 seconds aside. You're actually gonna start in that high plank, so that push position. He's gonna drive his knee up towards his wrist. His heel is in line, in his case, in line with his knee. Now, if you don't have flexibility, that's fine. You can lower that heel down a bit. I know sometimes myself, if I have my heel a little higher, I create a little bit of impingement in my hip, so I gotta find that right position to not feel that impingement. So play around with it based on your flexibility. You're trying to stretch out the glute on that side. 2, you're also trying to stretch out your hip flexor by bringing your hip towards the floor or towards your heel. By doing that, you're stretching the hip flexor. You can get a little bit deeper in your stretch by dropping down towards your elbows or the floor, which again, it will intensify your stretch a little bit more. And if that's available to you, go right ahead. You're hanging out there for a minute total, so maybe you don't start there, you work up to that, okay? After you've done that for 1 minute, you're gonna do the other side for 1 minute, okay? Once you've completed both sides, then you're gonna go into your glute, hip stretch, and activation. So find yourself a spot on the wall. You're gonna cross over. So one heel's on the wall. You're gonna cross over. Then you're gonna lower your hips down towards the floor. As you lower your hips down to the floor, you're stretching the glute there. So while you're stretching the glute, you're gonna create some activation. So what we wanna see today is you're gonna push your knee down towards the wall, okay, which gets a little bit deeper stretch in your glute. Do that for about 10 seconds. Then you're gonna bring your knee in, where you gotta use your adductor to bring it up and in to activate that muscle. Hold that for about 10 seconds. You're gonna repeat that back and forth, about 10 seconds each position for a total of 1 minute before you switch sides. Again, this is not just a stretch. You are stretching your glute, but you're also activating your adductor, which is going to help those hips feel a lot better. Start off the week and from that workout. Okay. Have fun with this, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.